time. I give the call to the Honourable Member for Hunter.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise today to contribute to the debate on the Constitution Alteration Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice 2023. I'd like to start off by saying yes. Mr Speaker, I say yes to recognition of our First Nations people in our nation's most important document, the Constitution, and I say yes to an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice to our Parliament. Mr Speaker, I say yes to better outcomes for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Mr Speaker, I came to this place because I truly believe in equal opportunities for all, and I wanted to help to create a better future for all Australians. We cannot achieve equal opportunity or a better future for all when we continue to see Indigenous communities disadvantaged and left behind. It is a sad truth that Indigenous people in this country face a lot of issues that non-Indigenous people do not have to face, and too often Indigenous people are overrepresented in a range of these areas. This is seen when it comes to issues in areas like health, education and housing. Mr Speaker, when a particular group in our society is doing it tough, it's common sense that our Parliament addresses it. It's a simple fact that listening to the community leaders to better laws and policies and better outcomes. It's a simple act of listening will make a practical difference on the ground. We know this because we have seen it work before. We've seen better outcomes when partnering with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. We cannot continue to just sit here in our fancy offices far away from the communities who need us to create change, pretending we know best for these people when clearly we do not. The definition of insanity, Mr Speaker, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And I think that's what we've had in this last 100 years of Parliament plus. Listening to the people from these communities when it comes to the issues that affect them just makes sense. Mr Speaker, we have to face the facts. While we have come a long way in this country, ultimately we have failed in creating a country which is as equal for First Nations people as it is for non-First Nations people. While there have been advisory bodies in place in the past, none of them have stood for long enough to be able to make a true and lasting impact. That's why we need to implement the voice properly and make sure it's enshrined in our Constitution. This is the best chance we've had to address the injustice of the past and create change that will deliver a better future. Mr Speaker, the Australian people hear lots of doubts being raised by some people in this place, by the Solicitor General of this country, someone who I think might know a little bit more about what the impact of the voice might be than those who are opposing it. It states the proposed amendment is not only compatible with the systems of representative and responsible government established under the Constitution, but it enhances that system. Mr Speaker, listening to what is sprouted by those opposite over the opinion of the Solicitor General is the equivalent of having a footy player telling a cricket player how to hold a bat. The voice will be a permanent, independent advisory body which will make representations to the Australian Parliament and the executive government on laws and policies that affect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples. One of the core functions will be to make representation to the executive government. This is nothing threatening. I do it dozens of times a day myself on behalf of my own constituents. It's a fundamental part of a representative democracy. The voice will be able to make these representations proactively. The voice would be able to respond to requests for representation from Parliament and executive government. The Parliament and executive government should also seek representations in writing from the voice early in the development and proposal of laws and policies. The voice will be chosen by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples based on the wishes of the local communities, which is vital in making sure that this is not only a voice which is heard, but a voice which is effective. Those chosen as members would serve on the voice for a fixed period. This ensures regular accountability to their communities. In order for this voice to be truly representative, members would be chosen from each state, territory and the Torres Strait Islands. The voice would have specific remote representatives as well as representation from the mainland Torres Strait Islander population. The voice will have a balanced gender representation.
Order.
At the national
Debate is adjourned and resumption of the debate will be made an order of the day.